The story starts with Yogiri, a child who's walking in a corridor filled corpses and bullets flying in all directions, and suddenly a door opens. A woman is wielding a gun as she holds Asa hostage. Yogiri runs inside the room, happy to finally find Asa, but the women tell Yogiri not to move or else she will blast Asa. Suddenly, some waves appears, and the woman drops dead instantly. Asa gets confused on what's going on, but Yogiri simply hugs her and smiles, saying they should return back home. Suddenly, we see an older Yogiri awaken from his sleep by his classmate, Tomo. He asks her if they already arrived. However, Tomo screams at him saying, "Wake up and see what's going on." Yogiri looks around and see many of his classmates are dead. He notices that one of them is getting pierced by a strange creature. So, he grabs a random mic and throws it towards the creature, who starts moving. Yogiri then realizes that it's a wyvern, and the monster decides to charge at the bus and breathes fire. Suddenly Tomo hugs him, fearing that they are gonna die now. But Yogiri suddenly focuses his mind on opening a door and utter a word, and in the next second, the wyvern collapses to the ground. But she is confused and asks about what's going on. He pulls out his device and starts playing video game, which pisses Tama, as this isn't the time to play at all. Tama actually doesn't understand how Yogiri is so calm in such situation and tell him to stop playing. Once he does, he asks her if she is calmed now. She confirms it, so he asks her to explain how this all started. So Tama reveals that, after crossing the tunnel, they found themselves in a strange field. Everyone got confused, and she even asked her friend about it. Suddenly, a girl entered the bus and introduced herself as Chien, granddaughter of a sage. Their teacher stood up to complain, but the girl simply popped his head before everyone. The girl then acted like nothing happened, and asked everyone to pay attention. Everyone froze in shock, and she tell them not to annoy her, or else they will be dead too. She then pops up the driver's head out of the blue. She mentions that it's unfair, but that's how it works in this world. She then explains that she summoned everyone here because she is looking for sage candidates, and reveals that this world is ruled by sages, but their number are low. That's why she summoned all of them. She then points out her hand to cast some magic. While Toma thought she gonna get blasted and close her eyes, but when she noticed she saw many students glowing, so Chien reveals she installed battle song version in all glowing students, and they see some logos on screen. Toma asks her friend, and she says she do see some status, and Chien reveals that this system is called gift, and everyone must utilize it to become sage. Tama then raises her hand to ask why is she not glowing. Chien replies that some people aren't capable for that, and says that if someone cannot be sage, they can become livestock to produce magical energy. She then explained that their first mission will start in an hour, and leaves. This confuses Tama on what's going on. Just then her friend says that she can now read instructions for the mission. It turns out their job is to escape from the dragon. However, Yaza, one of the guy, try to act like a leader and tell them that they need to work together in this, and for that they need to know their strength and weakness. Everyone writes their name and stats, and Tama realized that there are 4 students who didn't glow, including Yugiri, who's sleeping. Soon, everyone else walks outside. They also decide to go out, but Tama stays behind to wake Yogiri up, but they suddenly hear 2 guys arguing. Turns out, Yaza will not let the 4 come with them, and he breaks the bus chairs, making it like a barrier. Yaza tell them that this is also a part of their strategy. Everyone is confused to hear that, so he tell the other girl by his side to use the gift. She activates her charm ability, which doesn't affect anyone. Yaza walks away, explaining that this charm will attract the dragon towards them, which will give the rest of the students chance to escape. Tama is shocked that her own friend agreed to this and left them to die in the bus. Suddenly they hear a noise outside. Tama thinks it's a dragon. Suddenly something crashes against the bus. Back in the present, after explaining everything to Yogiri, he gets up saying, according to Yaza, it must be safe outside now, as there was just one dragon. Who's dead now? Tama asks him if he did something to dragon, but he denies it, saying the dragon clashes to the floor and died on its own. After that, they get out through the window. Upon noticing outside, Yogiri sees that they can either go to hill, forest, or city. But just then, Tama spots something on the sky. She realizes it's 3 of their classmates. Yogiri asks her if he should kill them, but she screams, what's wrong with him? But he simply replies that they left them behind to die. But still Tama thinks they shouldn't harm them. Soon the guys starts getting closer and notices the dead dragon. One of them notices that Tama is still alive and complains that he planned to turn her corpse into Zo. Ambi, and these freaks keeps talking to themselves, and Tama realizes that they can never be her friends. Suddenly, one of the boys cast a huge fireball that barely misses Tama. The guys kept boosting themselves. The guy then tell Tama to come to their side. One of the boys says that Yogiri and Tama seems pretty close, but Yogiri says he will manage the conversation. He then point at Fireball guy and tell him to die. The other two first laugh it out but gets shocked to see the guy randomly falls, and he order the other man to not move, but he checks on his friend, so Yogiri tells him to die as well. So he warns the last guy not to move at all, and promises to explain his ability. He then asks the guy to check if the other two guys are truly dead, so the boy checks and uses his healing abilities. However, his friends doesn't move. Tama realizes that Yogiri is the one who killed the dragon. The boy complains that Yogiri went too far, but he simply says that he only did it because they attacked him first. Yogiri then explains that his abilities is called instant death to any target. In fact, he doesn't even have to utter a word, he just have to think about it. This scares the boy instantly. He then tries to get close to Yogiri, pretending to be scared, but he is actually planning to attack him. However, Yogiri simply tell him to stop. Then Yogiri explains that he also have the ability to determine if someone has intent to harm him. This shocks the boy and he falls down to ground crying, thinking how would anyone win against Yogiri. Yogiri then asks him about why is he so cocky after getting the skills. So the boy explains that this is the second time 3 of them were summoned in this world, as earlier they defeated the demon world and came back. So Yogiri asks Tama if these 3 missed any classes, but the boy reveals that when they return home, only some hour had passed. Yogiri then decides to kill him, but the boy begs him not to do it and seek help from Tama. But Tama replies that she is only alive because of Yogiri, so will never intervene in whatever he does. This shocks the boy, and he calls her cold. He then pulls out an item and promises that if she puts on his he will be her servant, and he puts it on himself and acts like a pervert while walking towards Tama, but she tell him to stop, and the caller starts strangling him. She asks Yogiri if there is any way to stop this, so the boy obeys her and ask her to transfer him to someone else, so she transfer him to Yogiri, which makes him cry. So Yogiri decides not to kill him and ask him to stand in the forest full of monster. But before leaving, the boy should leave all his items and never tell anyone about Yogiri. So he obeys him and leave all the items. Tama then asks him if he thinks she is gonna betray him, but Yogiri says that he chose to protect her, so it doesn't matter. Tama then asks him why does he want to protect her so much. So he says that when the dragon came, she grabbed him, so he felt good, which enrages Tama very much. Meanwhile, Shion is on the bed when a guy come to report her about the sages. He says that the dragon is dead and the first mission is completed, with 4 death, 2 with no abilities and 2 S ranks. This shocks her, and he tell her that they must use caution because this looks abnormal, but she stay relaxed and ask him to handle it. Soon, we see Toma and Yogiri manages to reach the city, and just then Toma notices the guard closing the gate, so she quickly runs to them. However, they cannot understand what the guard are saying, so they wait until the Lord appears. Soon, the Lord appears and asks if they belong to the same group that came earlier. So Yogiri asks the Lord if he can let them in, as they got separated from the group who is heading for the capital. But he says that he has been given orders not to assist any sage candidates. So Yogiri decides to leave. However, he asks Tama that she can live in his mansion if she wishes, but she rejects immediately, pulls Yogiri and bolts away. Upon looking around, Tama gets excited as it looks like a fantasy city, filled with beast folks. A fox girl named Miru approaches them and asks if they are lost or need help. Yogiri asks what she wants. Miru explains that she wanna help them for free. The two gets confused and ask why. So Miru says that she wanna get close to male sage candidates. Toma finds it really cliche, but Miru says that she will not seduce her boyfriend. Anyway, Toma clarifies that Yogiri isn't her boyfriend, and she says that she wanna see the city before it gets dark. After Tama's shopping spree, she feels happy to buy these new types of cloths. However, they get surrounded by goons. Yogiri knew they will end up like this, and Tama apologizes for following Miru blindly. Bandit starts threatening them, but Yogiri protects Tama, asking if they need money. They says yes, we do need all your money, but more than that, they want sage candidates who doesn't have any gift perfect to beat up and sell. But Yogiri is calmed and says that he will have to kill them all. The bandits mocks him for even thinking that. Also Miru, who's obviously involved with bandits, mocks him too, saying they are too weak to do anything. So Yogiri pulls his instant death ability and kills bandits behind him. Yogiri continues his task and keeps pointing to every bandit to injure them somehow. He continues the havoc on them by hurting the eyeballs or some part of the body. He does it to see if he can control his abilities. This onslaught terrifies Miru, and she asks who he is. But Yogiri doesn't reply and thinks it's not efficient to torture people by affecting body parts. Just then, Miru begs him to forgive her, but Yogiri simply replies that he cannot forgive because she kill and traffic people. Yogiri then points his finger at them and tell him to die. However, it doesn't work, and they run away. Tama then asks him that why is he letting them go, but he replied that he didn't. He simply delayed his order. The two bandits runs away, but soon, the death is activated and they dies. Yogiri then tell Tama it's time to leave, but suddenly, they are stopped by some guards, who want to know about the situation. Yogiri lies saying they doesn't know anything about it. One of the guards says that that's a lie, as she saw everyone falling themselves. Tama gets angry, as this clearly mean the guards were watching but didn't help, and she warns them that Yogiri cannot do anything to them, as they are protected by gifts. However, one of the guards says that he doesn't think neither of Yogiri or Tama has gifts. This shocks the girl, so she leaves from there. But the guy apologizes to Yogiri, so he forgive him and ask the guard if they know any place they can stay tonight. So he take them to a huge mansion, which overjoys Tama, as she never saw such a big place before. Yogiri then asks if they should share a room, but Tama denies. Upon reaching her room, Tama is happy to see such a big room for her, but then questions Yogiri's intention for asking her to share a room, and as she is thinking about it, suddenly, she sees a spirit in the air. This shocks her, and because of the resemblance, she thinks it's her sister, but the spirit corrects her saying she isn't her sister. Her name is Moko, her ancestor and guardian spirit. Tama gets confused and the spirit reveals that she is here to help her. Tama asks, then why didn't she come earlier to help her from the dragon? And Moko reveals that she is scared of Yogiri too. Tama is surprised that Yogiri's abilities works even in spirit. Anyway, Moko then asks Tama to introduce her to Yogiri so that he doesn't erase her. Further, she adds that it was her who didn't let the sage install the gift on Tama. This angers Tama, and she asks why did she do it. So Moko reveals that once anyone is gifted by the sage, they becomes a mere puppet of the sages. That's why she protected her, and moreover, she is the successor of her school of archery, and she mentions that she wants Tama to return back to her world, but she can only rely on Yogiri at the moment. The spirit then gets excited, saying that's the reason she will teach her the true martial arts. The next morning, Yogiri notices that she seems tired. Soon a woman gets there, and Yogiri explains that he met the woman named Sella the other day, and she helped them figure where their classmates are. And not only that, she made him a gaming charger too. She also give him 2 tickets. The two later depart on a train, and Moko is still very scared of Yogiri. So Tama asks him if he can see Moko too, and he agrees saying ever since she told him he can see her. Tama then sits by his side and asks if they would be able to meet their classmates, and he replies that as per Sella they are training in the forest. Suddenly, he turns to her and pushes her down, as a huge explosion blows away the ceiling. Meanwhile, in the city, the guards are interrogating the dog, who was blinded by Yogiri. They try to heal him, but it doesn't work. The sage woman named Lane, she then reveals herself as a vampire and bite the dog to transform it and increase its abilities, but even after turning into a vampire, his sight doesn't come back. Suddenly, the building starts to shake, and a guy named Haro appears inside. Meanwhile, the train is halted due to a conflict going on. Yogiri and Tama get out of train, and witnesses a robot-like structure and wonders where the sage is. Tama with her sharp eyes points at the sage. The sage then attacks towards the robot continuously, and the robot strikes back as well. Suddenly, an explosion occurs right above, and an aggressor gets right in front of them, slashing his sword. Meanwhile, inside the building, Hero attacks Lane with several slashes, but she is unflinched by anything. The hero then throws his sword on the floor and Lane asks, why is he attacking her? Hero then calls her a tyrant and prepares for an attack. Soon, he explodes the whole building, and he is happy that he finally managed to kill a sage down. However, Lane is still alive, and Hero is in complete disbelief that Lane managed to avoid his attack. So Lane explains that she is immortal, and that's never enough to kill her. In the end, he begs to be killed, but Lane simply throws him off the building. Meanwhile, outside, Yogiri kill the sage for attacking them, and soon the robot approaches them, but says that he doesn't want to fight them, and promises to give him anything he wishes. So Yogiri asks him if there is any way to return back to their world, but the robot denies having such abilities. He then says that getting away from this world requires right coordinates and energy, so Yogiri asks how to get it. Later that day, the guards find the sage defeated by Yogiri. She and also get to know about it. Lane is actually interested in Yogiri's instant death abilities. After that, Shion leaves and Lane asks her subordinates to find Yogiri and Tama. Meanwhile, the two rest for the night in the woods. Just then Toma's ancestor reveals that she turned her underwear into a katana, which annoys her so much. Soon, they reach the city of Hanabusa. Toma gets happy but see that Yogiri seems really weak. He replies that that's normal because he killed many enemies on their way. She then asks that, since he is tired, his powers must have a limit, but he replies that he can use it as much as he wants. Toma then looks around and sees the huge hotel the previous Lady Sella told them about. They decide to get inside, where they meet Tachi, their classmate. She asks why he is here, instead of being with others. Tachi replies that he split with them because they were too weak. Yet there is a girl who's not happy with Tachi talking to Tama, and Tama asks Yogiri about who these weird girls are. But he doesn't know that too. Tachi then says that they are his bodyguards and introduces them one by one. But the maids also uses this chance to threaten Tama, but Tachi asks the girls to shut up. Then Yogiri asks Tama if this guy also left them behind in bus. He mentions that he doesn't know what kind of abilities Tachi has, but he seems quite confident, and Tama reveals that he has always been popular with girls and a narcissist. Suddenly, Tachi speaks out and invites Tama to become his lover, and she is shocked. He even asks Yogiri to be his servant. Seeing this trash, Tama cannot help but ask, why is he so confident? So Tachi replies that he has a dominant class and he can lead anyone. She then asks him, why haven't he been training like others? So he explains that it all started when they threw a party after completion their first task. A boy named Oto came to give advice. As he was a consultant of the class, Oto mentioned how everyone have been avoiding Tachi because he is a dominant man. So he advised him to buy the cheapest level 1 servants, and with that, if his servants wins the battle, the opponent will become his servants too, and he will get their experience points. Tachi then wants to know why Otto want to help him at all, but he just says that he want a capable person to get a chance to be a mage and the leaves back to present. Yogiri understands that by collecting weak support staff, Tachi is just increasing his level. He then asks Tama again to become his lover, but she refuses him right away, but he still tells her to think about it and leaves. Later, Yogiri is sleeping on his bed, while Tama wonders how long they are supposed to stay in the place. The spirit says, we can leave as soon as Yogiri wakes up. Just then, she sees some smoke on the street. This is because the guy whom Lane told to search for Yogiri is coming into the city and destroying everything. Tama is shocked and asks how this world is so weird as people are always dying here. Meanwhile, a maid is also walking in the corridor while invisible. The spirit then informs her that an enemy is targeting her right now, but they cannot see it, so she decides to call Yogiri's room to wake him up. Meanwhile, the phone rings while Yogiri dreams about his childhood. He remembers waking up to his dog licking, and Asa telling him that breakfast was ready. He then wakes up from his dream, and picks the phone and heads towards Toma's room. Upon stepping outside, he notices the corridor is empty. However, the maid is invisible and pulls out a dagger. Yogiri closes his eyes and focuses on her intent. He finds out that she plans to target Tama and kills her right there. He then gets inside Toma's room and explains everything to her. Tama is confused about why someone want to kill her, but Yogiri simply calls the reception to say someone collapsed in the hallway. Meanwhile, Tachi receives an alert mentioning his maid's signal has disappeared. Meanwhile, Tama recognizes the girl as Tachi's maid, and Yogiri suggests her that they should leave the place as soon as possible. On the other hand, the other monsters attacks Tachi, but he uses the barrier to block it and uses the attack to kill the monster immediately, and he then steps on him to make him his servant. Soon, the girl heals its body parts. Tachi then asks him about how many floors there are in this dungeon, and finds out there are 150. He then orders the monster to collect more servant. The monster leaves and Tachi then searches for his other maid, who was in hotel. He gets surprised that she was attacked from behind. He then asks why she was in the hallway, to which the girl replies that there are two possibilities. First, she wanted to bring back Tama to make him happy. Or second, she wanted to kill Tama for not being worthy. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Toma and Yogiri starts running away, but another maid of Tachi appears there. Yogiri asks her on what she wants from them, but she immediately restrains them within an ice crystal. But suddenly, Yogiri breaks the ice crystal and gets free. She tries to make another ice barrier, but Yogiri breaks it too. He even breaks her magic wand. He then warns her that she will be killed if she doesn't answer his question, so she agrees. He then asks if she can use magic without a staff, but she denies. So Yogiri asks, "Do you have another staff?" So the girl pulls another staff from her body. He then asks about who else want to take Toma to Tachi. So she replies that everyone has been given same orders. And suddenly, another girl from ceiling attacks Toma, but she quickly uses her judo to put the girl down. Yogiri is surprised. However, when they look at the girl, it's actually a doll. More doll surrounds them, and the maid pulls another wand from her hair. Suddenly Yogiri's eyes shine, and the maid falls dead. The girl who controls the doll orders them to attack, but instantly Yogiri kills every doll, and Toma and Yogiri manages to find her. She begs them not kill her. Meanwhile, Tachi tells his other maid that his servants are killed, and the little girl gave them their intel, so he decides that they should lead Yogiri and Toma to a place where they can ambush them. Meanwhile, Toma and Yogiri starts walking down until they see it filled with cockroaches. She screams, but the spirit knows that it's Tachi's work. Toma then asks Yogiri if he can do something. He says he can kill them, but the insects will rain over their head. She panics hearing it, and asks him not to do it. He tells her that if the cockroaches start stuffing inside her mouth, that can suffocate her to death. This really enraged Toma. Tachi on the other hand watches the whole situation, thinking Yogiri cannot do anything in this situation. One of the maid tell Tachi not to be enemy with the man of unknown power, but he doesn't listens out of his ego, and asks the bugs to kill Toma, and they activates the blood thrust to make Toma scared. Yogiri then says that they should kill Tachi, as it will not take much efforts. He then uses his killing intent to find Tachi and track him, and he tells him to die. Soon Tachi collapses on the floor, making all his servants shocked, and Yogiri explains that he can even reach his enemies without being physically present. But Toma just says that these bugs seems more active. Even if Tachi is dead, she freaks out. But Yogiri holds her hand, asks her to run away. Meanwhile, Tachi's servant still tries to heal him, but the other one tells that she is finally free and leaves. And as she goes ahead, she notices a shadow of darkness formed like a monster fighting with Lane. Lane says that she doesn't know how to fight that darkness monster, and gets down. She then charms the maid with her magic and bite her to become her servant. Meanwhile, Yogiri and Toma walks through an alley to leave the city, but they suddenly hears screams. Upon seeing, they spots the entire city is filled with zombies and are in a panic state. In a while, the zombies start wreaking havoc in the city. However, Yogiri mentions that zombies are slow and it should be possible to escape. Toma asks if they should help, but he replies that it will be hard to save the entire city. Meanwhile, the city mayor complains about Masa, who released the zombies into the city. He says that Lane has given him the rights to manage the city, but Masa simply tell him not to worry, and he asks the mayor to hand him the keys to the city, since it's Lane's order. Mayor gives him the key. He then uses the speakers around the city and order his zombies to stop moving. Masa then introduces himself and shows the picture of Yogiri and Toma, and announces that he is looking for these two, and he warns the rest of the humans to bring them to the central plaza in an hour, and if they don't do it, his zombies will move again in the city. Meanwhile, the mayor suddenly enters the room and complains about why is he trying to hurt the citizens. However, Masa replies that if he wouldn't threaten, they would never do anything. Everyone around the city starts looking for them, which forces them to hide in an alley. However, Toma wonders, why are they getting chased? Yogiri thinks for a moment, and says it might be because we killed a sage. Suddenly, 3 guys manages to find them, and starts attacking. Yogiri warns them, but one of them gets near to attack. Just then Yogiri's eyes glow, and he falls down dead. Seeing this, the other 2 runs away. This makes Yogiri comes to a conclusion that Masa is doing all this just because he thinks Yogiri cannot kill a normal person. He says that no, he thinks about going to Plaza. They both then head out to meet him, but finds the place quite grim. Even Toma thinks it's like a fantasy world. Upon getting close, Yogiri asks the guy if he is Masa, and when Masa see them, he calls them boring for trying to sacrifice themselves for the people, but Yogiri calls him stupid. Masa then asks him what does he want, because he can kill him right now. Yogiri replies that he want to head to the royal capital, so he requests Masa to remove the barriers. Masa gets pissed to hear those words and says that he is in no condition to negotiate. Yogiri thinks about it and says, "I will let you live in exchange." This pisses him off even more, and he orders his army to kill Yogiri. Masa laughs thinking, under no condition, Yogiri can kill the already dead. But just then, Yogiri summons the death notices. The ghost army falls down instantly. This shocks Masa, and the mayor uses his chance to declare that he isn't involved in anything. Masa loses his head to see how the already dead died, and Yogiri replies that he also doesn't know about it. Masa is still in disbelief and wanna know more about it, so Yogiri says that it's him who decides who is dead or not. If someone is moving, he is still alive for him. Masa gets angry on this and gets down and refuses Yogiri's instant death ability. He then starts transforming into a Batman, but just then Yogiri tells him to die and falls off right there, although Tama complains that he should have let him transform completely. Tama then asks, what are they gonna do about the barrier now? So Yogiri approaches the mayor. The guy panics and begs to stay alive and promises that he just wants the city to stay safe. He then tells them that it was Lane who ordered Masa to abduct you too. Tama then asks, isn't it Xian who asked it for? Mayor replies that Xian is also a sage, but this city is in control of Lane, and he is just subordinate. Tama is confused. The spirit then says that there is some sort of spirit manipulation heading to that area, and Yogiri starts feeling killing intent all around the city. Tama starts panicking from this, and the mayor then starts checking on the city barrier, which will keep them safe, but when he tries to activate it, it doesn't work. He then realizes that Lane is the one controlling the barrier. Meanwhile, Lane is trying to direct a huge monster towards the city. However, her new vampire servants warns her that this is dangerous, and she thinks for a moment that Yogiri is actually a dangerous opponent. Meanwhile, inside the city, Tama asks if he can kill the direct source, but he replies that it's different than Tachi's case, and then he tries killing everyone one by one who tries to attack them. He feels like someone is trying to test him, like they used to do it when he was a kid. Yogiri then notices the mayor in panic to see his citizens die in front of him, so he asks him to move aside. Meanwhile, Lane is redirecting the darkness towards the city. Lane says that she plans to give death to Yogiri indirectly. She then creates another clone of herself and orders her clone to fly up and create even more clones. Suddenly, Yogiri notices the killing intent gets stronger. Just then Tama notices the dark aggressor coming towards them. The huge aggressor starts destroying everything it passes through, and they begin to panic. At the same time, Lane reveals that since her clones know nothing about Yogiri, they have no intent to kill him, so she orders them to attack the city. If the aggressor either dies or tries to attack, Tama then asks Yogiri if he can kill the aggressor. He replies yes, which shocks her. Anyway, he orders the aggressor to die, and while it's taking effect, he notices the city being attacked from the air. He immediately saves Tama from being hit, but she wonders if this attack came from the aggressor. But Yogiri reveals that he killed the aggressor, but this attack is blended with darkness, killing intent to remain unnoticed. Just as Yogiri is just thinking what to do next, Tama tells him that several women in red dresses raining from the sky. The mayor adds that it's Lane herself. Tama asks if he can do something, but he explains that he cannot, since she isn't aiming at him. The mayor then brings out the hologram of the city and explains there is a pattern to the attacks. They doesn't attack same place twice. Tama thinks they can use this intel to predict next attack, and they quickly finds the place of next attack, so Yogiri intend to leave, and mayor says he will help him teleport. Tama then accompanies him as well, and then they decide to teleport away. Yogiri and Tama holds hands and she lead him to where the clone will hit. He then orders the clone to die, and the spirit uses her ability to create a shield around them. After the impact, the shield is retrieved, and Tama is relived to be alive. Yogiri then notices something on Toma's hand and asks what it is. The spirit explains that she combined the power of her and Toma into a shelter. Spirit worries if fighting clones will be enough, and Yogiri assures that it will be fine. Clones then falls and disappear, making Lane question how immortal are dying. She realizes that her clones are defeated now, but she still persists and says she will make clones that differ from each other now. Suddenly, there is a strange feeling in her body, and she realizes that her true body, which was hidden in another dimension, is dead, and starts falling down. She suddenly disappears. Meanwhile, Tama realizes that there aren't any more attacks. With this, they return to the mayor. Meanwhile, in a random house, a girl wakes up and notices her bed look like coffin. She then presses a rock in her hand, and suddenly Lane's hologram appears, explaining that plan was successful, and she died while the girl survived. She then tell the girl that she is the younger clone of Lane without any memories of attacks from Yogiri. Back in the city, Meyer thanks them for their help and gets them a car telling them to be careful. Upon getting inside, Tama complains that Yogiri is playing games instead of driving, but then he is too busy with games to Tama herself decides to drive. Tama drives through difficult terrains almost crashing down, while the spirit says that Yogai is completely out, sleeping. Tama cannot believe that he can literally sleep in such situation, and suddenly she sees a big rock ahead. Meanwhile, Yogiri is dreaming about the moment he met Asa, his foster mother. That day, Asa was taking a job interview to work for a research institute. Upon reading the absurd contract, she decides to leave, but they still force her to sign, and soon they reach in the base. When she asks what is her job role, Yukio, the interviewer, tell her that she will take care of deadly monster, which freaks her out. Upon reaching the bottom floor, she notices how dark it is. She asks, where is he taking her? And he says to her workplace. While taking another lift, he asks if she knows the term Alpha Omega. She denies, so he explains, it means eternity, and that's the name of test subject she will be taking care of. He further adds that Alpha Omega can kill anyone just by thinking of it. Asa cannot believe that. They expect her to take care of a monster, yet Yukio says that she is a teacher. This shocks her even more, as there are other more qualified teachers as well, but he says that if she doesn't do it, humanity will perish. After reaching the final floor, Yukio part ways with her and give her the paper filled with instructions and wishes her good luck. She then uses her card to open the vault, and upon stepping inside, she notices how it's completely different than she expected. She then follows the map and reaches a house, but she doesn't see anyone inside. She then hears some noise from a room and opens the door and spots that Alpha Omega is just a little innocent kid. Despite being shocked, she immediately reaches him and complains why this kid is locked in here. She then picks him up, goes outside and throws him onto the floor, screaming him to be a normal kid and play outside. This confuses him, and he points his finger at her. Suddenly she sees some sort of shadow dropping to floor. The kid revealed that this is a devil hiding in her shadow, who often come here to kill him. The kid then says that he will be playing outside tomorrow. So Asa extends her hand at him and introduces herself. And when Asa asks him his name, he tells about his code name, but she asks his actual name. So he says, before coming here, he was called as Lord Oka, after which he tell her that he is hungry, making her realize that she must also cook. She checks the fridge and realizes she cannot cook at all. After checking everything, she finds some cup noodles and give him to eat. After eating it, Kid says that he loves it, but Asa is still thinking about his name, and asks, what did your mom called you? But when the kid doesn't know about it, she look upon him closely, and think about a dog and name him Yogiri. He then uses her last name to his name, and Asa doesn't understand why he did that. Anyway, she decides to let him use her name, and teaches him how to handshake and greet someone. Meanwhile, Tomo wakes him up to tell him about the boulder in their path, but he explains that he used so much power in the city that he is exhausted. Yogiri then asks Tama why are they even going to the royal capital. Tama is shocked, because he could have asked that before they left. He explains that their goal is to return back to their world, and for that, they need to talk to Shion, but they bump into something. Upon checking outside, they see a dragon who prepares to attack them, but Yogiri kills him instantly. Tama feels relived until she notices an army of dragon flying towards them. The dragon prepares to breath fire. Tama holds his arm in fear, and Yogiri asks them all to die. The dragon starts raining down. She gets relieved until she notices they are being covered by a big shadow. Upon looking, she sees a huge golden thunder dragon, but Yogiri reveals that he doesn't sense any killing intent. The dragon looks at them and tells them they are past, and then it turns around and files back. Yogiri screams at it to wait, or else it will be dead. So it turns out that the huge dragon is actually a little girl who is shaking in fear. She knew she should have flown away without talking. When Tama asks why did she attack them, she reveals that she was checking if they are eligible to meet Sword Master. Yogiri gets confused and the girl if they have come to meet the Sword Master, but they refuse, saying they just wanted to reach the capital and have nothing to do with Sword's Master. They intend to leave, but this panics the girl, as she is here to bring the promising candidates to the swordsman. But the duo is still not ready, so the girl then says that the Sword Master is the rival of the sages. This makes Yogiri thinks that this information can be useful to them. Still, Tama thinks they shouldn't go because they are already lost. The little girl then promised that, if they come with her to Sword Master, she herself will guide them to capital. She then introduces herself as Attila, and they begin driving. They finally reaches a spot where several people are gathered. Attila says that they all are here to be the next Sword Master. Another guy says that, despite working so hard, they disqualified. The Sword Saint gets there and says, no one is disqualified yet. The old man gives another trial. They need to kill each other, until he says stop. Tama is shocked to hear this, but Yogiri asks that he wanna leave the place. But old man make it clear that, if anyone leaves, everyone will be disqualified. So, everyone starts killing each other. Soon a random group targets them. Yogiri has no choice but to kill them, and as he points to them, a random dude come forward to protect them. He then lectures everyone that, to be a swords master, your intentions has to be good. And Tama thinks he seems a decent guy. Just then Yogiri sees some guys casting magic towards him. Yogiri sees the killing intent, and summons them to die. The man gets confused, but then concludes that the old guy must have punished them. Suddenly Tama and others hear a voice from the ground asking for help. They then see a guy sliced in half, trying to crawl and asking for a stone. Tama then helps him and give him that stone. The then crushes the stone and someone regenerates his body. He thanks Tama for saving him. Just then the old man asks everyone to follow him. Atlia begs Yogiri to come and follow them, because that way she can become his loyal supporter. They then walks into the forest. Soon, the other two guys introduces themselves as Rick and Linnell. Yogiri then asks Rick about the Sword Saint and Holy King, so he explains that a Holy King deals with the gods, who have been sealed away, called as demons. He reveals the devil appeared 1,000 years before. Yogiri asks if it's still a threat. So Rick explains that some followers are trying to unseal him. Toma also asks Linnell about the stone he used earlier, and he replies that he helped him from serious injuries right away. He calls it an apology stone, which he got from a goddess, because he was used as a sacrifice mistakenly. Rick then asks him to what he got. He need to use 3 stone for pull and throw them into air. And suddenly a scrub brush appears, and he explains that he can exchange for any trash items. Tama then notices that he only have 3 stone left, so he explains that he get new every midnight. Suddenly they see other participant vanishes. It's actually a invisible barrier. Upon getting inside, they see a huge tower, but Spirit tell Tama to leave the place, as she senses some evil miasma. Suddenly Linnell starts vomiting, and Spirit explains that he got hit by miasma, but soon he uses his stone to get the resistant. Meanwhile, Yogiri is looking around and notice something. Yogiri then look for Altia, but she has been left at the barrier, so they starts getting inside the tower. They then take the elevator to the highest floor. The old guy tell them to look down. They see a huge energy ball, and old man says, that's the end of world. Upon looking closely, Tama sees monsters frozen in time. She notices a man in black and women in white at center. Rick explains that that's the Holy King and Devil. Suddenly, a girl named Fred, she tell the old man that his duty is over now, and throws a huge fireball inside the energy ball, but the attack barely moves ahead. And he explains that the time freezes inside the ball, and it will take hundreds of years to reach there. The night test begins, and a girl instructs them that their goal is to go from roof to first floor in 24 hours. Several new participants joins them, and Tama looks down and asks Yogiri if he will be able to beat them all, but Yogiri seems lost somewhere, and he whispers on her ear that when the miasma was bad down there, he actually killed the dark god, which shocks Tama. Further, they decide to get inside the tower to reach the bottom floor. The other two follows as well. Rick and others moves ahead, and notices several monsters and participants are dead, so he tell everyone to avoid the missing traps. But Linnell accidentally steps in one and gets stabbed by a javelin, but luckily he regenerates using his stones, despite Rick's warning to wait. Linnell opens a door, however the door closes, and they hears his screams, so they get inside the door, but find a girl dressed as a maid inside. Rick recognizes her as Terry, and cannot understand why is she participating, despite being a knight. She says she is gonna take the trial again, as she killed too many people already. Rick tell everyone to leave, but Tama says that they cannot, because Terry has filled room with thin wires, and Terry then decides to attack them. Tama watches Rick using his shield to block the attack, and thinks, despite his strength, Terry is much stronger. Just then, Yogiri decides to stop it and order Terry to die. She immediately collapses to the ground. Yogiri changes the topic to Linnell, and find him on the floor, in a dying condition. The group later continues to reach floor 98. Yogiri suggests everyone that they should split now as they are in a competition. Rick agrees, mentioning he never expected this trial to be so cruel. so he leaves from there. Linnell also stops on the floor till midnight to replenish his stone. After that, he takes the room, and the receptionist says they only have one room, so they take it. Tama reminds him that they are accompanied by her ancestral spirit. However, Tama then notices Yogiri bluntly taking his cloths off and changing in his pajamas, and then soundly sleep. Meanwhile, Linnell in his room is waiting for his crystals, and finally at midnight, he gets his crystals. However, he notices, instead of 10, he is getting 100, and get to play Gaga. He starts playing and thinks he might get a partner. Suddenly, a goddess appears before him, and he cannot understand why he summoned a goddess. She then reveals that she is only here to check on him, and says that she updated his checkpoints, and if he ever dies again, he will get back in this room, after which she leaves, leaving him all puzzled. Meanwhile, the sword master wanna know how the trial is going. She mentions that a lot of monsters have died, and they will have to reactivate them for next round. Meanwhile, there is a fight happening in a random place. The girl complains about the guy attacking her, but he says that he doesn't want to become a sage. The girl says that she will kill him if he rejects. She then uses her eye to measure his power, but the guy says that he can also know her name just by looking at her. He then attacks her with magic tentacles, but she cancels it just by saying some words. He then attacks her again, but she uses his own technique to defeat him, leaving him shocked. She claims she can do the things as him. He tries to cast another magic on ground, but nothing happens, since the guy cannot use magic anymore. He decides to use his sword. The girl realizes she cannot destroy this attack, so she uses her dagger to defend herself. He strikes at her, but she dodges and slices his head off. Suddenly, the knife starts talking, and says that she has a new mission now, to kill Yogiri and Tama. She thinks dealing with sage candidates is annoying but still walks ahead for the mission. Suddenly she hears a voice to stop. Turns out it's Fatso, Toma's classmate from earlier. He cries and explains that the other guy she killed saved him from forest, and now that he is killed, he doesn't know what to do. He begs her to make him her servant, and never leave him alone. Back at the hotel, the spirit awakes the two, and Tama is the one who wakes up first. She quickly gets up and spirit starts begging for help, as it has half of its body inside the wall. When Tama asks about it, Spirit says she wanted to disappear for giving them privacy, but she ended up like this. Spirit reveals that the walls are trying to absorb the dead and spirits, so she is getting absorbed too. Yogiri finally wakes up, and Spirit begs him for help, as it's getting sucked inside, and Yogiri tries to kill the absorption function of the tower. He touches the wall and soon, the spirit manages to get out. Yogiri wonders this whole thing has a bigger purpose, so he tells Tama to get ready as he would kill anyone who gets hostile without even asking her. Tama says that she is already prepared. She then surprises him by saying that he has been using power to save her, so she doesn't want to interfere at all. She smiles and says it would be good if he minimized killings. Yogiri blushes and turns around, mentioning that he is hungry. Meanwhile, the other girl is at Canyon and meets the golden dragon. Fatso tells her to run away because he cannot win against a dragon. Yet she thinks it's easy, and then suddenly the dragon fall flat and she revive. All's that, her abilities are to simply change events as long as she believes them. The dragon manages to get up and bites Fatso's arm, which he regenerates by healing effects. Suddenly, the dragon's head is chopped off, and an aggressor appears and starts absorbing the dragon's information. The aggressor suddenly escapes, and she notices a tower from a distance, and decide to check the tower to find Yogiri, but Fatso refuses to go, but she drags him along with her. Meanwhile, Yogiri and Tama are making good progress inside the tower, but he feels it isn't fair to kill all traps. Suddenly, a man appears and tells him to stop cheating. He explains that he is the one who built the tower. The guy says that he had hard time building traps. Yogiri explains they just want to leave the tower, but he says that they cannot, because this tower exists to maintain the barrier that seals the dark god. Yogiri tries to make a deal. If he lets them leave, nothing would happen, but he doesn't agree to it. He finally introduces himself as Iglesia of High Wizard, but just then Yogiri asks him to die. Suddenly, the sword master notices several alerts in the tower system, revealing the soul path was broken. Meanwhile, Rick manages to reach 100 points after defeating a random dude and notices a huge fire ahead. Upon getting close, he notices it's Linnell and his friend. She explains that she is trying to help Linnell. She literally creating fire barrier and helping him get points. Meanwhile, Yogiri and Tama reaches arena, where they see two people fighting, and a guy sitting on throne. He tell Rabbit Girl to fight strongly, so she swing the attack. Meanwhile, Spirit asks, what will they do now? So Yogiri says, this fight has nothing to do with them. Meanwhile, the guy however tell the opponent to get serious, so she reveals herself as half-demon. She combines magic with her sword and attacks the rabbit girl. The girl then drops her weapon, and suddenly gets close to other girl and starts punching her. Tama thinks it's never gonna end, so Yogiri intervenes and asks if he can pass through from this arena. The guy on throne asks who he is, but Yogiri simply says he just wanna pass through, but he refuses and asks them to join in. Although Yogiri and Tama only have 6 points, but the guy insists them. He then team up his girls and introduces them one by one for a fighting game. However, Toma just freaks out. The guy then reveals that he has the rabbit girl as weakest apprentice. They then figure out how they gonna kill Yogiri. Seeing this, Yogiri immediately asks the girls to die, and they collapses, which shocks the guy and they both passes from there. As they prepare to leave, half-demon girl asks Yogiri if he killed them. He confirms it, after which she begs him to help. He is unsure, but Tama tells him to at least hear it. She then introduces herself as Theo to Tama and Yogiri. She tells them that she wanna find her sister, because she heard that her people are being held hostage at the tower. Although Theo is worried that their assistance may look like rebellion against Sword Master, so Yogiri tell her that she shouldn't rely on his abilities as the best he can do is to search with her. She says she would really appreciate that. She then tell them that she feels her people are held underground. Meanwhile, Linnell and others gets there too, and Rick is happy to see Toma and Yogiri. Soon they reach the last floor, and the room is full of previous encounters. The Sword Master then announces all of them as knights, but just then, he is interrupted by his assistants telling him that the tower has fallen silent and it's hard to maintain first barrier. Suddenly, a bright light blinds them all, and when they look up, they see a purple portal going through the barrier. Suddenly, a demon descends from the portal, and Sword Master gets ready to fight. He tells everyone that it's their first task as knights to defeat the demon. Meanwhile, Yogiri, Tama, and the girl decides to leave while the attention isn't on them, and search for Theo's sister. Lylan also suggests Rick to leave like them, but he denies, saying it's too late for that, and that they have to fight now. The demon then asks Sword Master how he can bring down the barrier, but when he doesn't answer, he attacks and begin taking lives of the knights one by mere his hand flick. Rika then decides to shoot her full light beam at him, but the demon crunches it out like a paper. A little demon behind the demon appears and says that the attack was powerful. Rika tries to attack again, but he nullifies the magic from her staff and turns the staff into a huge candy. Rika gets so terrified that she gives up. Rick then decides to attack him, and he knows Rick is stronger. Rick asks Lylan to look after Rika while he strikes at the demon. Suddenly Lylan gets a notification and tries his luck to get more apology stones, but he summons the goddess again. She notices he is petrified, but she is in serious mood this time and says that she is gonna fight. Now, she then walks towards the Ons, and even Rick is shocked to see this. In the blink of an eye, the main demon bows to her, while the little demon rushes to hug her like an old friend. Everyone is surprised by this, but the goddess then tells Linnell he was unlucky to meet her, and now Lylan knows she is on demon's side, which shocks him. Meanwhile, Yogiri and others going down on some stairs, and soon Theo senses the magic from her people. Suddenly, they hear some screams which pierces through the barrier, and Yogiri is happy because now they can go down. Suddenly, Toma gets frightened. She says she felt like a blade demon just passed by her body. Theo then opens a door, sensing something. When she looks inside, she cannot believe her eyes. The room is filled with container holding different specimens. Theo walks in, and Yogiri walks after her. She confirms that it's her people inside the containers. She is shocked to see them in such a state, but she somehow mentions her sister isn't there. Theo then breaks the glass jar and leaves the room. Tama asks Yogiri what's next, and he says they will go up first. Meanwhile, they ask Theo on what she do next. She says she will avenge her people by killing Sword Master. Meanwhile, at the battle arena, Sword Master find himself in a difficult situation, so he bestow the Sword Master title on Rick. Rick is surprised by this, but the Sword Master knows he is the only choice he has, while Lylan apologizes to him as he is responsible for this situation. But Sword Master tell him he didn't expect anything from him. Lylan then asks the goddess why she is chatting with enemies, but she is skeptical about going him an answer. But anyway, she tells him that long time ago, her darling suddenly disappeared. Lylan doesn't know who she is talking about, so she tell him he is inside the barrier, and her darling is none other than Dark God. Everyone is surprised to hear this, but she goes one that she sent messenger to search for him, and that's when she learnt that he was sealed in the barrier. But after finding him, her messengers couldn't defeat the swordsman, so she decided to send him, because he has bad luck. She was hoping her darling would come back. Lilan cannot believe it and drops down to knees. Soon the demon says that barrier is fading, and she checks it herself on her mirror. And she is pleased to see the creator of the barrier and goddess both are gone, and she tell Lilan he is a walking apocalypse and he decide to take his own life to end it all. The goddess tell him to watch her darling come back first. She then brings out the barrier core from tower so that she can crush it to break the barrier. Soon Tama and others gets there too, and the goddess then decides to break the core and bring her darling back to life. As she does it, the barrier breaks open, and the Divine King steps in to put an end to Demon God, and they all realize that the Dark God was dead this whole time. Soon Theo takes advantage of the distraction to take down the Sword Master and kills him. Meanwhile, the goddess is still in shock at her darling's demise, and the sword monster uses that opportunity to stab her with his sword. Soon the monster disappears, and the demon immediately goes to heal her wounds. She gets back to her feet and begin acting crazy. The demon goes to pick the Dark God, trying to wake him. He remembers he require human sacrifice, so he tell the demons to present all the humans for Dark God's consumption, and all of them attacks humans. The Divine King decide to protect everyone, so Yogiri asks Tama and Theo to get close and orders the demons to die, after which their dead bodies rains down. Theo then asks if he is gonna leave the goddess, and he say she didn't do anything to him, so he cannot kill her. Suddenly, Aoi arrives with Fatso. She drags Fatso all alone and asks Rick if he knows where Yogiri is, but tell her it's not a good time for reunion. She then analyze him with her eye and tell him that since he is a sword master now, if he will use his holy sword on goddess, this will end her life, so he run towards the goddess and strike her. Surprisingly, everything gets normal. Aio asks again about Yogiri. Soon the dust settles and they spot Tama and Yogiri. She then uses her eye to analyze his power, but drops down to knees seeing his stats. She feels nauseous just by seeing the culmination of the fate of the world in the shape of man. Tama recognizes Fatso and asks what he is doing here. Suddenly Aio vomits, but says that she will be fine. She says that she came to deliver Fatso back. After that, she just leave from the place. After that, they take a census of the people left, and Rick first asks Theo on why she killed Sword Master, and she says it was to avenge her people. Yogiri intervenes saying Rick should look what's happening underground. Rick thinks Yogiri is powerless, but Divine King tells him that only Yogiri had power to defeat the demon god, and thanks him for his service. Rick then asks what is he exactly, and Yogiri casually says I am just a high school boy anyway. Rick asks him his plan and he says he is heading to Royal Capital. Yogiri then asks Theo about how she is gonna search her sister. Theo then tell the name of her sister, which somehow seems familiar to both of them, and they tell her that they will help her with that. Yogiri then asks the way to Capital, although Rick offers help, but he denies, saying Toma and he are traveling alone. Soon they move ahead and Rick gives them a map and a pendant if they come across any trouble in Capital, and everyone says their bye to them. Meanwhile, the sage is worried about Yogiri and decide to summon his friends. Shion summons a scientist who is happy to find Yogiri on his radar. Suddenly, a self-destruct warning goes off and a man's head explodes. Shion wonders who the hell Yogiri exactly is. In the other hand, we see Ayaka switches on, and she gets alive again. Her plan execution body urges her to process the situation quickly, and in no time, Ayaka looks around and wonders where she is. Her plan execution unit tells her that battle unit is happy to being her back to life. Her battle unit tells her they need a lot of materials to recover. Aya then spots the dragon, which can be used as the material. She then takes the dragon's skin and consumes it entirely. Meanwhile, we go back in time, where Asa is preparing breakfast for Yogiri, which tastes horrible. She presents it to him, and after tasting it, he says, "This tastes yucky." This pisses Asa off completely, and she screams at him that never say bad for the food. A girl prepares. Yogiri doesn't understand what she is talking about, but she forces him to eat the food and says, "It's delicious." And Yogiri does the same. After breakfast, she gets ready to do the dishes. She go through her work instructions that she has to provide minimum education to him, and she is pissed to see it. Soon Yogiri is working on some problems when Asa hears someone coming, and Yogiri tells her it could be a courier. Asa then sees that it's a robot who came to fill in groceries, so she asks it to get some elementary level textbooks, games and a dog, and it agrees. Yogiri is done with the maths problem, so Asa takes him out in fresh air, and she loves the view. Yogiri tell her there are some floating things here, and she says that's because it's a farm. And soon, at the end of the month, she presents his monthly reports. Yokio is surprised that she lasted a month anyway. She requests him for more people, but he simply says that other researchers usually bolt out just after a night. Only, she has lasted this long. He asks if she hate her job, and she screams obviously, as she is just locked underground. Yokio then says that they will make it worthwhile, and gives a packet. When she opens, it's her monthly salary, but she says that no amount of money can convince her to keep working there, so he asks her again if she wanna leave, but Asa worries on who will look after Yogiri, and Yokio says that robots will do that. With that, she immediately submits a vacation request. Suddenly, she wakes up in cell. She then remembers she went into the city, had a meal and did a lot of shopping. She spent night in a high-class hotel, but she cannot remember how she got to a cell, and a voice communication device tell that they will not cause her any harm, and the voice says that they just want to have a word with her. The next day, Yogiri asks his courier robot about Asa, and it says she is on vacation. He then sits outside wondering when Asa will come back. He sees that his dog is also lonely, and he decides to find Asa. He asks the robot about Asa's whereabouts, but it doesn't know anything, so he asks her to bring the researcher's location who knows about it. She says that she cannot go out, as the door is locked and can only be opened from outside. Yogiri then somehow contacts the control room and tells them to open the door, and they contact Yokio. He rushes to contact room and asks what's going on, and they says that Yogiri is controlling the lady to speak with them, and killing if they don't. Yokio is surprised by his abilities, and orders the security to shot the lady, but suddenly, he slumps to the ground. Yogiri then enters the room and asks Yukio about Asa, and tells she is on vacation. He asks when will she come back. He says that she will not come back because she was taken away by agency, and they cannot help because the organization has global reach and they are helpless. So Yogiri decides to help her himself, and he requests him not to tell Asa what he did today. He then goes to the agency, and he tears through everything. He asks those in charge where Asa is through cameras, so they plan to kill him while hiding. They set an ambush, but Yogiri kill them anyway. Asa is pissed already for being retained. Suddenly she hears some commotion outside, but the door suddenly opens. The woman then takes her hostage, and Yogiri walks into the room. He is happy he finally found her, but women tell him not to move, or she will kill Asa, and soon he uses his power to kill her. Asa is surprised on what happened to her, while Yogiri hugs her and tell her to come back home. They walk out of the room, and Asa is shocked to see the damage Yogiri did to place. She still smiles reassuringly, and they leave the base. She returns him home, and goes to talk to Yokio in the garden. She asks what's gonna happen to Yogiri now. He tell her nothing can be done about the boy, and he tell her they definitely cannot let her quit, and she is pissed that he is laughing out it. He asks if she wanna quit, but she denies it knowing that will be horrible for the kid. Soon Yogiri calls her in, so she bid her bye to him and get inside with Yogiri. She then remembers she lost her bags and gets angry while Yogiri smiles at her. Back in present, Toma looks at Yogiri as he sleeps, and the spirit tell her she should spend her life with him, and she gets surprised. Spirit can read her mind. Moko also likes him and is ready for their union. Soon he wakes up and Tama tries to keep her conversation with Moko private. They then reaches the royal capital, but are surrounded by guards who ask them to come out. The chief guard introduces himself as Trox, and says their vehicle belonged to Immortal Core, but Yogiri tell them that they got this vehicle from Mayor of Hanabusa, but he still doubt them. So Yogiri explains further that they are sage candidates. So Trox asks him to show their gifts. He agrees, so they take a trial of both of them. But still when Trox doubts them, Yogiri shows the pendant by Rick, and immediately all the guards bows down, and ask the guards if they can go now. They allow them in, but soon David, who's the youngest in royal family, he tell the guards that the pendant doesn't allow for lawlessness. Still David asks Yogiri to show the royal sword he received from Rick, but since they doesn't have that, David asks him to show his swordsmanship. As they are knights of the king, he says they cannot lose to someone like him, who lacks swordsman skill. Tama freaks out seeing this, but Moko insists her to fight. Yogiri also assures her that she should give it a try, and says that he will take of everything else so they begin the battle. Yogiri notices that Tama's sword style is unorthodox, and Moko confirms it's their family style to mislead the opponent. She slowly moves her right foot ahead, so he doesn't see it, and waves her dagger to mislead the opponent. Tama suddenly throws her sword into air and rushes past David and hits him with a low blow to beat him up. Even Yogiri gets shocked to see her skills, declare her the winner, and the guards are astonished by her moves. After the fight, Yogiri touches the castle walls and sees that it's enchanted. David tells him the walls was built by ancient wizard which can withstand any attacks, and David is surprised to find out that Yogiri knows the wizard. Soon Tama joins in, and David shows them around the capital. Tama then notices a lot of martial artists, and David mentions that they are explorer, who will challenge the underworld. Tama is surprised that exists. David says that the Dark Lord rules the underworld. Anyway, as they talk further, Yogiri tell him that they will go from here on their own, and David bid them bye. Tama thinks that was pretty rude, but Yogiri tells her that they have to discuss meeting their classmates, and ask if she planned to forgive them for leaving her in bus. She doesn't reply. So soon, they go to see the king, and Yogiri is surprised by the number of people present. The king begin addressing them, but Sheena, a sage candidate, challenges the king. Yogiri asks about him, and Tama cannot believe Sheena is that dumb to challenge a king. The king says that it's not the first time a sage candidate has challenged him, and he immediately puts Sheena at his place by piercing his fingers, and the other candidate gets panicked to see this, but the king tell everyone to stay quiet. Meanwhile, we see Xian walking through a forest, but suddenly she crosses a barrier and she sees Ao in front of her. Ao then screams at her for summoning Yogiri into this world. That will cause the end of humanity, and she tell her she didn't want to be involved in her schemes anymore. She is convinced Yogiri isn't human, and her sis word tells Xian that she has been acting like this lately. Elsewhere, Fatso presents the information on Yogiri to the demon named Lu, and he begs him not to take his life. He cries before Lu because he is convinced that she will take his life. He then give intel about Yogiri that he has the ability to take people's life just by thinking about it. Although Lu isn't convinced by his story because she cannot believe someone can kill like that. So she decide to put Yogiri as her priority list, and Fatso wonders how she's gonna do it. She then takes a key and reveals it's a key to the seal. She says this key holds her master's younger sister. Fatso intend to flee from there, but Lu stops him, as she doesn't know Yogiri well, so she will keep him with her. Meanwhile, the king addresses the candidates in front of him. He tells them if they can travel to the world underneath and conquer the Dark Lord, the sage would acknowledge that as a great achievement, but he thinks they lack the skills, and he tell them that the royal family can cause the gift to weaken. He then tells Sheena his finger will reattach soon. Soon Tama calls out to her classmates, and they are all surprised to see her alive, but she gets pissed that no one noticed Yogiri. Meanwhile, the Divine King arrives by train and walks towards the city. She is surprised as how large the city has gotten, and soon is welcomed by the guard named Heil, who then shows her the way ahead. When they get home, Heil asks if she is still suppressing the Dark Lord. She tell him Dark Lord was defeated, so he asks her about the sealing key, but she doesn't know about it. He then takes out the key and casts a spell on her. Meanwhile, Yaza tell Yogiri and Tama that he didn't do anything wrong by leaving them behind. Soon Sarah cuts in and tell him that they should help each other since they have such few allies in the world. Yogiri asks about her and Tama tell him that she is a famous idol on the internet. Soon the boys go to their dorm, and Yugo complains about their movement restriction. Yuki soon realize that Yogiri doesn't recognize him. They are surprised how Yogiri doesn't recognize them, although they have spoken a lot in their world. Soon there is a knock on door, and it's Fukai, who want to speak to Yogiri. Meanwhile in the girls' dorm, Rumi tell Tama about 3 road nobles, consisting Sheena, Kei, and Nit. Soon there is a knock on door. Toma open it to see Rio and Carol. Meanwhile, Fukai wanna talk about Lord aka he introduces him to Yoguni as a death god. Yogai wonders why he came here, and he tell Yogiri that he was never allowed to get close to him. He then immediately rips his eye, and tell Yogiri that I can rip the supper, all, but lost its power when he got close to Yogiri. He then leaves. Meanwhile, Toma takes the girls to meet Yogiri and they go out for a conversation. And suddenly, Rio apologizes to Yogiri. She also asks Carol to do it, because she thinks Yogiri can kill them anytime if they get in his bad books. They then says that Carol is from the agency, while Rio is from the institute, and they were sent to keep an eye on him. Yogiri then asks Carol for more information. Meanwhile, Yuffie sits on a tree stump. A vampire find her and intend to take her life, so she can become the vampire too. Vampire is about to attack, but Yuffie tells her to stop. Carol then tell Yogiri that Sarah uses her vow power on students to prevent them from using skills. She then says that Sarah became leader because Yaza couldn't get them together. Yogiri realize whoever breaks Sarah's vow dies. Yogiri says that he wanna talk to Xian. because she might know the way back home, but they all then thinks that, for now, going home will create chaos, so they should go for great achievement, and now they all on same side. Meanwhile, the girls gather in the hallway, and everyone is in awe of Sarah's outfit. Alongside, everyone wears different outfits. Tama thinks one of her friend's outfits looks like of her idols, but she thinks her own outfit is way too loud. Soon their guide arrives and Rick enters the room, and Tama is surprised to see him. Meanwhile, the boys go underground. David then tells them that he can surpass a low-level demon himself, and he is their guide here. On the other hand, ladies are battling against several monsters, and they kill them easily, and Rick sees he isn't needed. Soon Sarah interrupts her and asks Tama to fight. Tama then fight a skeleton. She rushes at it and demands something heavy form the spirit. She is provided a sword, and she takes down the skeleton. Soon another monster appears and she kill it too, surprising everyone. Meanwhile, a four-armed monkey attacks Yogiri, and he suppresses his killing instincts and uses a sword to take it down. One of the boys wonders how he did that. Elsewhere, Fasto is walking with Lou through the city, but he isn't happy to be her companion. She then notices the crowd and asks if there is any festival going. She then wonders the location of the underworld. She then decides to get more intel, and Fatso tell her to get it from the tower. Yuffie on the other hand is walking down the street, while a little girl is chasing a horse. Yuffie stops the horse for her, and she thanks her. Soon Yuffie introduces herself, but the girl doesn't have a name, and she instantly name herself Risley. Fatso and Lou goes into the tower, and he tell her to listen to nearby conversation for intel. She then asks a waiter if there is any festival going on, and she tell her that they are celebrating the sage candidates. As they reached 5th level, Fatso notices the 3 road nobles and warns Lou that they cannot be recognized by them, so she uses the magic, and now no one will notice them. Soon the nobles complains about Yogiri stealing away all the girls, but a lady suddenly approaches them. They are about to use the magic, but the lady turns out to be Ayaka. She then beats up Sheena to get a revenge, and the others cannot stop her. She doesn't stop beating him till he dies, and everyone is shocked to see this. After finishing him, she warns the other 2 boys that she will kill both of them one by one, so be ready and leave. Sheehan then walks inside the tower, and she recognizes him as Fatso. He is surprised by that and intend to leave the place. When she asks why, he says they need information about Underworld, but she says that he doesn't have to go because she will tell him everything. She then asks him about Yogiri and his abilities. Lou tell her that she will take care of him, but Sheehan says that she cannot do anything to Yogiri, which pisses Lou a little. She then decides to take out Fatso, since he is useless, but her attack doesn't work against him, so she asks him, what does he want to know? He asks about Underworld entrance, and she tell him how to get ticket for entrance, and leaves from there. Meanwhile, Toma asks Yogiri about his day, and he tells her that he played some games. She is pissed because she had to take monster all day. She says they are gonna enter 6th level soon, and Yogiri warns them that there is a Dark Lord on 7th, but he is optimistic Shion will show up soon, and they discuss about their day further. They tell Yogiri about Ayaka's presence, which shocks them because they thought she was dead. Meanwhile, Shion is informed about the sage's progress, but she decide to put wrench in their plan. Soon there is a knock on the door. Shashin says it must be a transporter, but actually it's Haru. He asks Shion for extension of time limit. She agrees and he thanks her for that, and intend to leave. However, she will only do this in exchange that he will get rid of Yogiri. Meanwhile, Ayaka's unit tell her it has completed its analysis on dragon meat she consumed. The unit create activation keyword and she is hit on head by a rock. Unit tell her they have location of sniper and she should use dragon wings to reach. She then does it, and reaches the tower. A sniper named Rio is up there. Rio then rushes to Ayaka with fist, but Ayaka's shield blocks all her attacks. Ayaka is done with her, so she decide to use her dragon claws and take out her arm. Rio then drops down in pain and Ayaka leaves. Meanwhile, Fatso and Lou goes underground. They suddenly sees a lady in front of them, and Fatso wonders if she is an explorer. Lou recognize her as Mana, and tell Fatso she is Lord's younger sister, the women they are looking for. Elsewhere, Rio walks into his apartment, and he sees a envelope that says needed a skilled assassin, and his target is Yogiri. Meanwhile, Yogiri welcomes Tama back to the hideout. He then shows her how he learnt controlling his power by just taking few petals from roses. Tama wonders if he did anything else, so he says he just went out in city, but he informs her that he was targeted while walking around, which concerns her, and he asks her help. Meanwhile, Fatso asks Mana why is she sealed underground. she tells him. She doesn't know, but says she must have done something wrong. That's why her brother sealed her. Lu presents her the key to her seal, which gladdens her. Meanwhile, Ayaka's unit informs her about King's chambers. She then makes an explosion and get inside. The king wonders who she is. The king tries to attack her, but she uses her dragon skill to block it. She then uses Dragon Fang and attack on him, and soon, he falls down dead, and she leaves. On the other hand, Mana leaves underground and return home, where she is welcomed by her kids. Fatso is shocked. She has these childrens. Lu tell him they were birthed from her imagination, which shocks him even more. Later, Ayaka goes back to Rio and informs her that the king is dead and seal is broken, and invite her to fight again. Hearing this, Rio jumps out of bed and attacks Ayaka, and they get into a fierce battle and Rio floors Ayaka. But soon, Ayaka uses her Dragon Fang to take off Rio's arm again. Rio wanna keep fighting, but Ayaka immobilize her with Dragon Tail and kill her instantly. Meanwhile, Yogiri and Tama stroll in city, and Tama asks what help does he need. So, he asks her to use her eyesight to spot the enemy. For him, who's targeting him, he then notices she look a bit off, and asks what happened, and Yogiri can see she just want him to treat her with lunch. Just above them is a sniper, who's targeting Yogiri, but he begs the women to let him go. But she tell him to hurry up and take the shot to get free from the pain. The man pulls the trigger, but he loses his life immediately, and she says, the next is Tama. Meanwhile, Tama and Yogiri arrives at a destination. Suddenly Yogiri saves Tama, who was being targeted. The operator decide to continue that strategy, but Yogi retells he is coming to him, which shocks him, and the spirit tell them that she has the waves of it. Meanwhile, the operator wonders if Yogiri knows his location. He decides to run away, but his helicopter fails, and he jumps out. Tama attacks him mid-air, and he falls down before Yogiri. The operator seems to know about his ability, which is why he didn't ran. Soon Moko shows them the spirit he sent to attack them. Operator wonders how the spirit princess lost. The spirit says that no one can win against her, and just then she shows the defeated king of spirit. This pisses the operator, and he summons a wolf spirit, but Yogiri takes it out instantly. He then form a pact with Yama, the queen of dead world. She tries to stop him, but Yogiri take her out. As well, suddenly, the woman, who is a clone, comes out running out of nowhere and attacks Yogiri, but Tama saves him. Yogiri then approaches the clone called as Enju, and he deactivates her. Tama asks about her, so he says he will explain later. He asks Ryo, the operator, to spill everything he knows. While Haru visits Ryo's home and he is shocked to see Yogiri is so strong. Meanwhile, Lu and Fatso are still walking, and she apologizes to him for dragging him alone. She gives him a key and says that no, he is the representative of her master. He asks, why isn't she holding it herself? She says, Lady Mana will take her life for allowing her master to die too easily. After which she says she enjoyed their time together. On the other hand, Yogiri interrogates Ryo, and he tells him everything he knows, but still Yogiri want him dead, since he can create countless Enju clones. He tries to argue with Yogiri, but he is too pissed to listen anything, and kill him instantly. Meanwhile, Lady Mana enters her seal, and Fatso wonders what the seal is for. She says it's to protect her. A keyhole appears, and Lu fears what's gonna happen next. Back at Hideout, Yogiri explains, Enju was a friend he used to play with while he was little. He explains that this robot was modeled after Enju. Tama wonders, Enju must be dead as well. As Yogiri says, he wanted to rest in peace, but he then clarifies that Enju isn't dead. Tama wonders, why would he talk about letting her rest in peace? But he says that he just didn't feel good as someone used Enju to kill him. Meanwhile, Ayaka attacks Yug, the class cook, with her dragon claw, and she is surprised his attacks passes by a dragon scale. She attacks him again, but he slices that as well, and is unaffected. He then creates several of his clones. Aya, the class reader, also sees it in his book that the battle is already decided. The cook's clone attack Ayaka, but she flies above and breathes fire. Tama and Yogiri then notices Ayaka from a distance. Later in the day, Sarah informs everyone that Ayaka has killed 8 of their classmates. She also says that Ayaka only kills people when they are alone. She also says that they have been asked to leave the country because the kingdom will be destroyed if the killings continued like this, and she wishes them to clear the mission as soon as possible. Yogiri and Tama goes to the 6th floor with David accompanying them. Yogiri warns him to leave if things go sketchy, but he laughs it out. saying, Yugiri can beat anyone. They soon arrive the Dark God's castle, where they are greeted by thousands of monsters. They soon makes a formation and starts killing the monsters, and soon one after the other monster dies. Meanwhile, Ludic dares to confess to Mana that her brother have passed away. Mana stays quiet for a moment, and Fatso tell her that she should take the revenge. She tell him that she will take revenge, but before that, she has to give birth to her brother first, and suddenly Mana takes Lu's hand without her permission, because her brother's essence is still stuck on it. She decide to her brain next, but Fatso begs her to spear Lu. Mana tell him that she will spear Lu if he releases her seal. He then lock the key in and he gives right to release the seal. Meanwhile, Toma wonders why the class is celebrating, and her classmates says their journey so far has been easy, that's why. Toma classmates then ask, why is she always with Yogiri, and she suddenly notices he is missing, so she goes to look for him. Meanwhile, Yogiri is playing some video game in a forest. When he notices David walking alone, he wonders if he is drunk and goes after him. He sees him walking to his impending doom, and rushes to save him. Yogiri tries to wake him up, but suddenly the ground starts breaking up. Meanwhile, the class is happy with their progress, but suddenly Xian appears. She tells them their journey has been too easy by far. She decides to create an event, and tells them that no, they have killed each other, until only one person remains, which horrifies them. Meanwhile, Toma goes out to look for Yogiri, but the ground breaks and he falls into unknown depths. Meanwhile, we see Thio, still looking for her younger sister, and she sees some men taking a cart. She attacks them instantly, and kills them. The rest says that they have protection crest from the half-demon, but she kills them too. And she opens the boxes, and sees many half-demon girls in it, and suddenly, her younger sister Yuffie appears right before her, leaving her shocked. Meanwhile, back in the castle, Xian tell them that the trial will begin in an hour, and after that, whoever have not taken any life will be killed. Fukai then walks up to her, and says he will kill her instead, and she tell him that he can try. He then uses his eyeball power to kill her, but nothing seems to work on Xian, as she has incredible healing powers. After that, she pops Fukai with a flick, and he falls dead right there, after which everyone get in panic mode. Meanwhile, Toma is moving through forest, when Rama and Ju comes running to her, saying they are in trouble. Meanwhile, Yogiri is in a free fall with David in his arms. He remembers when Asa was telling him about a novel she read, and she tell him that it's impossible to make rules for a superior being, so they should rather make rules for themselves, and he wonders if he have to come up with his own rules. She tell him that even if he can do whatever he wants doesn't mean he should go wild. She want him to think carefully over everything. Back in present, Yogiri realized that he will only die, so he control the momentum and land safely, and he then realized that he is at the 7th floor. Meanwhile, back at Mana's shield, the shield is broken now with the key, and she is happy. Fatso then asks her if they can leave as well. Mana says they can, before she changes her mind, so he takes Lu and leaves from there, but they find difficulties in walking ahead, as their feet stuck. Lu tells him that they are actually inside Mana, and she has already prepared to give birth to her brother. Fatsu then says they should run faster together, but Lu kicks him out to save him, and she is stuck inside and soon gets engulfed within Mana, and Fatso runs away. Meanwhile, Yogiri takes out his phone and he wonders if the person on phone will be alright, and she says she will be alright. Just then Fatso comes running out of nowhere, wondering why he is being attacked. He notices Yogiri and instantly falls on his knees in apology, and Yogiri wonders why is he here. He then begs Yogiri to take care of Slob trying to attack him, and he immediately kills the Slob. He wonders if Fatso know how to get back to 6th level. Fatso tell him to go back the way he came, but he says he crashed in here, and he is amazed that Yogiri is still alive. Anyway, he says he knows a shortcut, but he will take him only if he promises to protect him, and Yogiri agrees. He starts walking, but Yogiri stop him saying he will have to carry David with himself, which pisses him off. Meanwhile, Kyo pulls a navigation map to see other candidates and takes out her gun and head to the castle, with Tama secretly tailing her. Yuka reads her actions through a book as she enters the room. Suddenly he reads Ayaka entering the room too. Meanwhile, Moko appreciates Tomo for her suggestion of splitting from the team. The spirit then informs her that Yogiri is in 7th floor, trying to find a way to get back. Soon the fight inside the castle begins. Meanwhile, Fatso is actually carrying David like a piggyback. Meanwhile, Yuka arrives at the room with elevator. As he intend to leave, the door opens, and his book tell him Yogiri and Fatso walk out with David. The book reveals that he will die soon, no matter how many times he writes. His book says the same thing, Pissed, he tears the paper. As soon as the door opens, Yogiri take out Yuko. Fatso is surprised. He took his life so casually, and he says he had an intent to kill us. Soon they get a message and Fatso tell him that they are now approved as participants in Sage candidates. And Yogiri then says that now he cannot leave 6th floor. Meanwhile, Mei is lying down having thoughts of vacation. When Arma tell her that he is fed up because she is too lazy, she wonders why he didn't take her life. Suddenly a rock falls onto her and she got teleported to a place where she meets 2 other candidates. Soon they try to attack her, and suddenly Yuka opens a door of larva above her head, which pours down on her, but she is unharmed, which surprises him. She says she is immune to all attacks, and she is pleased to see the look of despair on their faces. She then hits Yuka with a punch and immediately disintegrates him, and the other man asks, "What is this power?" She tells him that few days before, she was hit by a beam of light from a cat's eye, which took her life. But the cats revived her and in apology, gave her the power. The boy is convinced she can take Xian's life as well. But Mei thinks the event is fun and disintegrates him too. She then gets a notification that Fatso is now part of event. She soon teleport to them, and Fatso is surprised to see her. She then spots Yogiri. Suddenly, she attack him, but he counters her with an elbow attack. He takes out one of the cat with his attack, but the other cat decide to take revenge, and Mei doesn't hold back. She suddenly loses her powers because Yogiri took out another cat too. Embarrassed, she runs into the forest. Meanwhile, Kyo and Ayako are engaged in a battle. She fires non-stop gunshot at Ayaka, while Tama watches them from the tree. Tama decides to move, and she is immediately surrounded by the spirits. Soon Rami approach her, and they realize she is the sorcery. Rami tell her she is a necromancer. Toma asks, why is she here? She has a guiding spirit who is the princess of ancient species, whose name is Tiano. Tama is pissed that Rami got a cool spirit than her, and Moko promises she can defeat Tiano if they engage in a battle. Rami tell her that Tiano cannot do anything, and will happily trade her with Moko. She suddenly makes Moko possess her, and she start attacking Tomo. Tama is absolutely surprised by how powerful Rami has gotten. Just not that, Rai even controls the battle suit Tama is wearing. Yogiri and Fatso walk on them, and he hit Fatso in his eyes so he doesn't see Tama. As her armor falls off, Yogiri offers Tama the blazer, and he is convinced that he will have to take down Moko. Meanwhile, Sarah is impressed by the group Yaza has formed, and they aim to become strong enough to take down Xian. Sarah figures out that they are attacking her because she took away his leadership position. Yaza asks her to give leadership back, but when she doesn't, he intends to attack her. Several fans appears behind them, cheering Sarah. Yaza orders his group to take them down, but the fan blows themselves up to kill candidates. Several fans blow up Yaza as well. Suddenly, the jelly glob engulfs everyone. They ask for help, but he uses his secret weapon to save himself, leading them to their fate. Meanwhile, Rami is still petrified with fear of Yogiri, but a voice suddenly tells her she is more powerful than that, since she is a necromancer. So Rami then releases Moko, and she become amazed by the power coursing through her body, and Yogiri wonders what's going on with her. Rumi feels extremely powerful. She tries to attack Tama, but Yogiri summons her death and she falls down. Tama then asks Moko to return her cloths, and she is sad Rumi had to lose her life. Soon Fatso gets there and says that Tama should be more sympathetic, and Yogiri thinks of an idea to get out of this floor. Meanwhile, Ayaka is about to defeat Kyo, but in moment of despair, she summons a huge weapon. Soon Carol and Ryu joins with Yogiri because they made it a point to run for their lives. He tell that he plans to lure Xian, but Sky suddenly turn red, and Yogiri tell everyone to get behind him, and soon, their location is hit by a huge blast. Soon after the huge blast, Ayaka gains consciousness, wondering what happened to her. She is being informed that she has lost majority of her body. Her medical unit informs her that she can either heal naturally or heal using Dragon Heal instantly. Ayaka tell them to go with Dragon Heal, but her system tell her that this will cause irreversible damage, as she will change into a dragon, but Ayaka still persists with it, and soon she is completely transformed into a dragon. Meanwhile, Tama wonders what happened here, and Yogiri tell her that it was an annihilation bomb that destroys everything, while Ryo gets a notification that second gate is behaving strangely. On the other hand, Ayaka decides to continue on her vengeful path. The unit informs that she can use her dragon warriors to find out. Fatso is scared completely, and suddenly hears people coming towards them. They spots it's Ayaka's clone, and Ayaka orders the army to attack them, but they all immediately falls to the ground. Ayaka wonders what happened, and her unit inform her not to waste more troops, and the unit realize they are facing Alpha Omega. Her unit tell them that she need to retaliate immediately, but Ayaka refuses, saying she transformed into dragon only to get revenge, and fly right above the group. Tomo realizes that the dragon looks exactly what attacked them on the bus. Ayaka breathes fireball, but Yogiri takes her out and she falls dead. After that, Tama approaches the clone and realizes they are all Ayaka. Fatso tell them they need to keep moving, so they keep moving. Fatso soon realize there is nothing around them, and he tell him even Xian must be confused by the events. Suddenly, Xian herself arrives there. This shocks Fatso. While Yogiri recognizes her as Sage, Yogiri takes out her ankle and she immediately loses balance. Yogiri then tells her straight that he wants some answer and tell her to focus on him. She tries to use her powers on him, but he nullifies it instantly. He tell her to stop her antics or he will take her life. He asks her, how can they get back to their original world, since Shibofe brought them here? She must know, but she doesn't say so. He takes out 2 of her finger. Xian instantly disappears from the place. Xian reaches back to her mansion and wonders what's happening to her. She uses the healing magic on her finger, but nothing seems to work. More parts of her body stops working. Soon Yuchi enters the room, but before he can help her, his hands and feet loses their functions. He begs Xian to help him, and she decide to teleport back to Yogiri to beg him to spare Yuchi. So Yogiri tell her that he will not attack her if she answers his question. He asks again, how can they go back to their world? And Xian answers, that's impossible. Yogiri then points to Fatso and says he said he was summoned before and was able to go back. So she answers that, at that time, there was link between this world and their world, but now, there is no such link. So he then asks her to give them the coordinates of this world. And a screen pops up showing them the coordinates, and Moko decides to memorize them. He then asks about the energy needed to go back, so she hands him a philosopher's stone, saying that he needs more of them. He takes the stone from her, and says that, does that mean all the sages killed so far also has stone? She agrees with him. Yogiri then wonders where the other sages are, but she says she doesn't know their location. After that, he asks Fatso about the exit, and he checks the location, and he is shocked, and asks if he is gonna leave Shane like that. Yogiri says his only goal was to get intel, and he has it now, so they leave her and walks ahead. While Xian remembers she has to tend to Yuchi, she begins flying, but the red jelly erupts from the ground which surprises her. She takes them out, wondering what they are, but she decides to teleport back to Yuchi. But she cannot, and she notices the red jelly has attached to her leg. She wonders what's happening, when Mana suddenly starts speaking to her. Xian wonders if she is a dark god and flies off, leaving her leg to devour. She tries to teleport, but she cannot, and falls into Mana's jelly. Xian realizes that she has lost all her powers, and Mana decide to use her to nourish her brother, and soon, the jelly begins to devour her. Xian finally accepts her fate, and before submerging, she tells Mana to remember a name, Yogiri, as he will kill her, and after that, she submerge inside. Meanwhile, 2 huge robots suddenly land in the capital, but a little robot appears to try to take them down. It attack one of them, but it regenerates. It about to start its destruction, when it's engulfed by the jelly. The jelly spread through the capital, and Rick notices it. He decide to attack the jelly. He swings his sword and destroys the jelly to the amusement of the soldiers. Flood of jelly rushes towards them, and he wonder if it's because of the broken seal of Dark God. Meanwhile, Hola is glad that Mana has awakened to manifest herself upon the earth. Just then Yogiri and group reaches there, and as soon as he sees Hola, he kills him. Yogiri wanders where they are, and David tell him they are in the seat of Divine King. Soon, they notices jelly is engulfing the capital, and the jelly breaks through the wall, and Fatso says it's all his fault, because he is the one who broke the seal of Dark God, and Yogiri realizes that's the reason he was rushing from there. Suddenly, jelly gathers around them, with Mana's face on it. She recognizes Fatso, which surprises Yogiri. She then asks Fatso to guide her to Yogiri, who took her brother life. He immediately rats Yogiri out. Mana realizes he is the one and tries to take him down, but before she could do anything, Yogiri takes her out himself, and she collapses right there. But Tama wonders what they gonna do about this jelly. David suggests they should go up to the roof, and he shows them an aircraft. Yogiri jokes with Fatso that he will not be able to ride because of lack of space, which pisses him off. But Moko suggests they stay behind. While other board the aircraft, Tama wonders why they stay behind, and Moko decide to try on an experimental armor on Tama. Tama is embarrassed by how revealing it is. Yogiri asks how is he gonna fly. So, Moko tell Yogiri to hold tight to Tama, so he quickly grabs her, making her more awkward, and she argues with Moko on why he was left behind rather than Carol. Finally, she takes a leap by spreading her cape and they fly out of the capital. Yogiri wonders what they should do now, and Tama decide to take a break since they have been through a lot. While they wonders where Fatso has gone, Carol and Ryu decide to tag along as well, but Yogiri tell them that he will only gather energy to get Tama and him home. Soon Yogiri feels sleepy. Suddenly a carriage gets there, and Risley jumps out of it and goes to Yogiri. He asks what does she want, and she asks him to marry him, but he decline her offer. Soon Theo and Yuffie gets there too, and Yogiri asks her if she got her sister and she agrees. Risley then offers him a philosophy stone, so he will listen to her request. Meanwhile, the Divine King stares at the aftermath left by Mana, and she realizes they cannot ignore such a monster. On the other hand, a robot descends to pick Haru, and it disappears into Star, while Fatso is running through the forest and he decides to build his own world there. Meanwhile, Yogiri is sleeping with his head on Tama's lap, and dreams when Asa told him to use his power against people who he doesn't like. While Tama notices that Risley is so jealous that Yogiri is so close to Tama, and that's how they continue their journey further. That's all for today. If you want the next part, comment next part. We'll make it once this video hits 10,000 likes. Also, tell us which character you like the most in the comments, and thanks for watching, you guys are the best.